Okay, MD, thank you very much for being in our studios once again.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It's always wonderful to have you. We want to talk about microfinance and the economy and economic growth, its ability to fight poverty and to speed economic growth. Well, since the days of Mohammed Yunus, when he even won the Nobel Peace Prize with his bank, with the Grameen Bank, microfinance has become so popular. People are falling head over heels, for it. Even government officials all over the world trying to have various aspects of it implemented in their countries. People like you are deep into it. So is microfinance what people say it is? Or what is microfinance? And where is this power to fight poverty and speed economic growth?
You yourself just said it, that there's been a kind of concentration in recent times on the theme microfinance. Yes. And it is not, the reason for this isn't far-fetched, because I think most of the world has come to realize that microfinance is a powerful tool for economic development that lifts the poor out of poverty, and then mainstreams them from the informal sector to the formal financial sector. So I think these are the theme that people are looking at, policymakers, and that's why microfinance today has become very, very popular. Of course, what it essentially means, you look at micro and you look at finance, micro small, which means this is the provision of financial services, or that I must emphasize, competitive provision. And when we go down the line, you find some of these words that we emphasize. Yes. If you remind me, I will tell you why they're very important. Okay. So microfinance is the competitive provision of financial services to economically active poor. Okay. And low-income households. Yeah. That's basically what it means. Okay. And if you want to know why microfinance is still what it is today, I will just start with one example. Yes. Unlike developed countries where poverty is generally a short-lived, a transitory phenomenon, long-term structured poverty is the norm in most of African countries, including Nigeria. Yeah. In fact, a recent study showed that in a country like the United States, the median time of poverty is about 4.5 months. But in Africa, in a country like Nigeria, the median time of poverty is 1 or more lifetimes. People are born into poverty.
I like that. Say that again. What does that mean to a lay person? What do you mean there's an average what?
The median time of poverty strikes, say, in a country like the United States.
Yes.
It takes about 4.5 months
for an individual,
for somebody who is temporarily poor to get out of that poverty.
Get out of it, okay.
But in Africa, it's 1 or more lifetimes.
Okay.
Because you're born into poverty, you live throughout poverty, you die in poverty. Yeah. And so you find that...
So microfinance has come.
That is it. So microfinance...
To do what?
What microfinance has come to do is that where there's no hope. Okay. You see, because where there's... Without hope, it fosters a kind of hopelessness and despair. Yes. Microfinance has come to build up the people's confidence. Yes. Now, when it rekindles hope, it builds up confidence, their self-confidence. What it means that is, these hopeless people, formerly hopeless people, now have opportunities to begin to engage in life-saving projects that will take them out of that despair for life and bring them into positions where hope now exists.
Okay, first of all, what I would like us to do, first of all, is if you can define microfinance. I know you said micro and then you said finance, but because you also use a word that I'm not sure I heard you use before, but you use competitive. Are you saying this in reference to government innovation or whatever? Maybe I'm not going there. But okay, so because when you say competitive, so you're like marketplace driven. Is that what you mean?
It's marketplace driven.
Yeah.
But in terms, it's a comparative analysis of where microfinance is coming from. Okay. Because before modern microfinance, we've had microfinance as old as civilization itself. Yeah. You have money lenders, you have the revolving and credit associations and what have you. Money lenders and others tended to be monopolistic.
Okay.
The money lender in a village is the main guy.
Yeah.
So he puts up all kinds of conditions and whatever. But microfinance institutions were supposed to now be an improvement on those traditional characteristics. And so that's why you said competitive.
Okay.
So that it's not like they're going to be oligopolistic or monopolistic and everything. There'll still be competition, even though you are providing services to the poor. The manners they prefer and the manners they want. And that is exactly what microfinance, these are people who are financially excluded.
Yeah.
They are locked out by the conventional banking system.
Yeah.
And so how do they get in? How do you open that door?
These poor people.
These poor people.
Yeah.
Poor people, again, I say economically active poor.
Poor.
Because we get to that, when we begin to look at microfinance, there are two main approaches today.
Okay.
You find the Yunus, you just talked about Mohammed Yunus from Bangladesh and his Grameen Bank. So that is on one side where they believe that the best way to help the poor is through what they call the poverty lending approach.
Okay.
And they use subsidized credit
Okay.
to give the poor people loans at affordable prices or highly subsidized prices.
Okay.
So that is the poverty lending approach. But then you have another group, mainly in Indonesia and Bolivia, who now say, no, commercial finance is it. Every microfinance bank, yes, you have a dual mission. There's a social mission where you're concentrating on taking the poverty, living the poor out of poverty. But more importantly, you have to cover all your costs, because that's the only way you can be sustainable over a time of period and continue to expand outreach and increase the probability or the possibility of reaching out to a larger number of poor people. If you are not financially sustainable, then you may not be able to do that, because subsidies, grants, and donor funds do not last forever. They're not sustainable.
Okay.
So they may be very important in the short term.
Yeah.
But if you are looking at the long-term horizon, then you want to go somewhere beyond just subsidized credit.
Commercial.
Yes.
Okay, MD. You are an expert in this. I mean, everybody knows you as an expert in this field. So I literally can ask you anything, because I know you can answer any question in this regard. You've used a couple of terms, and I like to break things down as best as possible. You use monopolistic. You use oligopolistic. Now, when in the old days when I was near school, when I would hear monopolistic competition, my mind would tell me about people who are acting almost like monopolies, except that there are many of them, and they're in some sort of competition.
What?
When I would hear oligopolistic, I would think there are just a few of them that are controlling the market. In Nigeria, people like you guys, which one are you practicing? Are you practicing monopolistic competition in microfinance, or are you practicing oligopolistic competition, or is it a perfect competition setup?